Hey everyone, welcome to the sideboard of the Columbus Open weekend. Part of season 1 of the SCG Tour, brought to you by the awesome people over at Ultimate Guard. I am Cedric Phillips, and I am joined by a member of Team Next Ridge Nexus.
Correct.
It is Brennan DeCandio, otherwise known as, I know you never get this, Andrew Garfield or Spider-Man, never, right?
No, it's been a long time actually.
I had a feeling.
Yes.
So, you're a Florida guy.
Yes.
You came all the way up here for this, because I imagine you're long drive?
Yes.
You drove?
Yes, we did. It was 1,000 miles, and I was wanting to play this deck so much, so.
How long was the drive?
15 hours
Oh
or so.
my goodness. Well, you're having a tournament, right?
So far, so good. 7-1 today.
Okay, so the drive thus far has been worth it.
Yes.
Which is a very, very good thing. And you have a pretty innovative deck here this weekend. So, let's talk about the bannings.
Right.
We had Smuggler's Copter, Emrakul, Reflector Mage, gone. At that time, yeah, no kidding. At that time, you know, Black Green Delirium was still a really good deck.
Yeah.
It's a deck you've had success with, right?
Yeah, at the Invitational, I won the Open there. That was on the weekend of the day. I won that with the Delirium deck, so.
So, it's a deck you've played, you have success with.
Right.
All that good stuff. But now, with the bannings and Emrakul being gone, people are thinking, okay, Delirium's probably not that good. You say, nay. This deck is good. Tell me why.
It's kind of good. It's not, in essence, the same exact deck. You can't grind very early and just build up this massive end game where you just Emrakul them and wreck, everyone's day. Everyone knows how Emrakul works.
Okay.
So we kind of have to be a little more aggressive now, taking advantage of the Delirium creatures.
Okay.
Is what I'm doing in this deck.
So we'll start with Grimflayer. It was good in the previous Delirium decks, and
Yes.
you're playing it still here, so it's still good?
It's still good. It helps in a different way that Grimflayer didn't before, which was not just filtering your draws and finding you the Delirium count to go up to Emrakul to make it cheaper, but you have it just to make sure you don't flood it as well. It just, that element was never really something you wanted in Delirium because you had so many expensive things to do.
Okay.
But without those expensive things, you want it to kind of filter your draws and make sure you don't screw it a lot of ways. But yeah, still very good.
Another old card, Mind Wreck Demon.
Mind Wreck Demon, yes.
You have a lot of those in your deck this weekend.
4.
Still good?
Even better.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, Mind Wreck Demon fell prey to the fact that we are living in a Reflector Mage world, and if you guys don't know how that works, not very well for the person playing Mind Wreck Demon.
Very true, very true.
But without that, the biggest creatures people are playing are like Heart of Kierans, Gideons, Avacins, and things like that. Trenchal Gearhook, of course, and a little 1/4 we all come familiar with. But Mind Wreck Demon, no, it pressures very, very well, and also flipping cards over is great. It works, it fits the aggressive theme of what we're trying to do also. So I'm a big fan, playing 4 of it. It's been great so far.
Okay. So, Gearhawk is kind of a new-ish edition, would you say?
Similar to Mind Wreck Demon, yeah. It suffered from the similar problems that Reflector Mage Reflector Mage caused for the decks, where you build up this giant threat, or you put them over a bunch of creatures, and it gets Reflector Mage, and you lost that value. But you also didn't need this kind of thing when you were playing the old Delirium deck because you had the endgame of Emrakul.
Okay.
And Ishkanah to buy the time. And this doesn't buy time at all, but it does just kill your opponent.
Which I'm always in favor of.
Me too.
I want to get my opponent dead. Now, those are the old cards. Those are the boring cards. Let's talk about the new cards.
Right.
I'm going to start with Winding Constrictor.
Right.
Black-green, 2/3.
Yes.
And some weird text that lets it put more counters on things. But,
Weird.
What's going on with this? Why is this in your deck?
So a lot of people experimented with Winding Constrictor decks using Nissa, the 3-mana Nissa.
Okay.
But I'm actually not playing any of those because I don't feel like it's aggressive enough.
Okay.
I don't want a card that I just have to throw away to make all my things really big. I don't think it's really good next with 1-drop creatures.
Okay.
But I'm not playing any. But Constrictor works pretty well with another card I'm fairly certain is the best card in the set, or rare in the set at least, this one here. The Walking Ballista.
You think that Walking Ballista is the best rare in the set?
Yeah, best rare, mythic, probably best card.
All right, you got to sell us on this now.
Okay, despite its obvious interaction with Walking Constrictor, we've, like I said, come familiar with the specific 1/4 that is part of an infinite combo.
Yes, the Healy Ride.
Walking Ballista, while it's in play, just stops that combo because at some point that Healy Ride is going to be on 1 loyalty.
Yep.
So in any case, how many counters are on your Ballista, you can just remove 1, ping them, and kill this Healy Ride, so it stops it. So it's a really good insurance policy against them. Also, this deck desperately wanted earlier ways to interact. You have Grasp of Darkness, but it's usually not enough. And without Ishkanah being, buying you time to a big threat like that, which you don't have that anymore, you want a card that you can use early and play early and trade early. Being an artifact creature is insane as well for Delirium, by the way.
Sure, that makes total sense. Okay.
You don't have to mess around with pilgrims or anything like that, but
yeah, those days are over.
Yeah, killing cards like the Toolcraft Exemplar, Veteran Motorist, some of the aggressive red-white creatures, really good, because playing against a couple of humans decks so far. But no, just while it's in play as well, you with Winding Constrictor, just paying 4 mana, getting 2 counters is so much more of a big deal than 1 counter. Just
we watched that a little bit.
Really?
Caleb Shearer. We watched Caleb Shearer. He's playing a similar deck to you, and yeah, he was doing that as well. Just it's relevant, and also you get to deal the more damage when you sacrifice it.
Right.
So this actually was a pretty good interaction in combination with Winding Constrictor. Now talk to me about Rishkar, Pima Renegade, a card that I think some people would have expected to be maybe the card you were talking about as best card in the set. It's a card a lot of people like.
I think it's the second best one.
Okay.
I was talking about this earlier this week. Those 2 cards, especially in tandem with each other, are obviously very synergistic. They all deal with counters. You can go overboard on it, but this card, I mean, I just had a match last game where I went turn 2, Wandering Constrictor, turn 3 Rishkar, and that's just 8 power on turn 3, and I'm attacking you. Like,
those are the starts that people were kind of afraid of. If you get those starts, that's a good start.
That's part of what this deck can do, but it doesn't have to do it.
Okay.
But no, Rishkar, I think we've only been able to see what kind of decks it can go into. I'm interested to play in other formats too, potentially.
Okay.
It might not be as powerful, but I like the card a lot. It's an elf. I like elves.
You've got removal spells and Fatal Push, To the Slaughter, Ruinous Path. It's different from the days of Grasp of Darkness and some other things that you were doing.
Still have Grasp of Darkness, but yeah, we different. Fatal Push, while being very good and very efficient, doesn't kill the Felder Guardian without some way to trigger Revolt, which you don't want to fill your deck with too many tap lands like Evolving Wilds, because then you just become this slow, clunky-ish deck. We have a couple, but Grasp is still king, I think, in that regard, just making sure you can kill anything you want to. Kills Avacyn, kills Gearhulk, kills a lot of things.
There's been an uptick into the Slaughter. We're through about 8 rounds of coverage, and we've seen more of the main deck this weekend than we ever saw in the previous format, and it looks like you're a fan as well.
I added 1 last minute to the main deck. I had a couple of 5-minute instances in deck. I went in favor of more Gearhulks, just all of them. But To the Slaughter is great because you guys seen the Jeskai control deck, the Jeskai like combo deck, a bunch.
Yep.
So the problem with playing against that deck is often you can't tap out a lot because you have to leave up some kind of removal spell.
Okay.
Well, Grasp isn't great because they can just play, Saheeli Rai, and then next turn play the Koya and then have like mana up to counter your things. So To the Slaughter kind of enters Planeswalkers at instant speed and isn't too bad against Torrential Gearhulk or Grasp is.
Okay.
So yeah, just instant ways to deal with Planeswalkers have never been, more sought after than this format, I don't believe.
And your Sorcerer Speed way of dealing with Planeswalkers, Ruinous Path, couple copies, still okay?
Yeah, still good. No, still need to kill Gideon, and still kills a giant creature if you need to.
Okay, we take a look at the sideboard here. This is where things, obviously the main deck's a little unorthodox, and he's having a fantastic tournament so far, so it might not be as unorthodox. But when you think of Black-Green Delirium, you think of Ishkana.
Yes.
This was the thing that kind of bridged the gap to getting Emrakul. Emrakul's no longer here, and you have 1 Ishkana throughout your 75, I imagine, to traverse for, but talk to us about why this just isn't where you want to be anymore.
There's nothing to build towards. There's no inevitable endgame you always wanted when you had Emrakul. It's just not there anymore. And I tried it with Gearhulk, and it's just too many 5s. I tried one in the main deck. It was awkward at times. It's just not what I want to be doing right now. There's no deck that I'm like, yes, I slam this Ishkana, and I'm good. Like, Blue-White isn't as big of a deck we've seen. But
yeah, it's really trended down.
But Ballista, just talking back to that card, helps shore up the early game so much that I think that you don't even need that card anymore.
Okay. It's a drastic change from 4 weeks ago. Ishkana was like problem number 1 for everyone, and you had to play really bad counter spells to be able to beat it. I can't think of the counter spell. It can't counter an artifact.
Rebuff.
Yeah, that thing. A horrible card, but people were playing it to be able to beat this thing.
Yes.
So not going to see a lot more of that. Noxious Gearhulk, you've got in your sideboard. You've got Omnixilus, Nissa Vital Force, just some pretty powerful one-ofs. Have those been okay for you?
Yeah, they've come in a couple times. Nissa sometimes can be good at killing Saheeli Rai people play early, just like without a board. It doesn't look like I can kill it, but you just jam Nissa and kill their thing.
Okay.
Haven't brought Omnixilus in. It's a little bit weirder playing against the Jeskai combo decks now because you can't really tap out too much unless you're putting direct pressure on their life total.
Okay.
So if I could go back, I probably wouldn't have the Omnixilus on the sideboard, even though I do love the card. I played one in the previous from it main deck even.
Okay.
But no, they're good. They're definitely good. Nissa's pretty great, just at killing Saheeli Rai. So.
Last but not least, we have a Lost Legacy.
3 of them.
We have 3 Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'll let you start there.
Yes.
What's the deal with this?
I don't want to get comboed. I mean, I played against Jacob Bogg a couple rounds ago, and he tried leaving up Negate for a couple turns, but I just went, turn 2 Constrictor, turn 3 Pima, and he has to tap out at some point to deal with that. And it's like Lost Legacy or Felder Guardians, playing what Noah Walker was playing just recently.
Oh, sure, like this 4-color version.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But no, it just, at that point, you don't have to worry about anything, so you can just tap out 3 big things every turn, and usually people can't keep up.
Okay.
Haven't found many other applications for it. Paradoxical Outcome is my one loss today, and I didn't draw it agained there. The 4-mana return thing.
Oh, I know what it does. I'm just making sure this can get it.
Yeah, it's not an artifact, so we're good.
All right, we're clear.
But yeah, no, it's a card I was a little bit skeptical of playing last format for Emrakul. But here it's great. I mean, I've tested with a bunch of Marvel decks too, and sometimes you need to make sure you don't get Ulamog. It's a little hard to beat that card sometimes. It's always been the bane of my existence, but no, it's been pretty good so far. Brought in a bunch.
Last card, Yenny's Expertise. This is a card I've seen mostly in sideboards here this weekend. It's obviously going to be pretty good against aggressive strategies. Give other creatures -3/-3. I assume most of your creatures are going to survive past that. And you get to play a free spell. Has this been okay for you this weekend? Has it come up at all?
My first 2 matches were against Red White Human, so yeah.
Fair enough.
It was really good. Adam Yurchik was not very happy, but yes. No, it's great. I don't think it's a great main deck card. It definitely didn't catch my eye at the beginning of the spoiler season because we still had Copter to deal with.
Sure.
But with no Smuggler's Copter, I think this card is actually very good. Main deck obviously not great, but in the sideboard it's a fantastic card, and I'm glad I'm playing 3.
So the question I'm going to ask you, a couple here.
Yes.
What do you want to play against with this deck? Is there any matchup where it's like, yes, I'm so happy I got paired against this?
Red White Human seemed very good. I didn't get to test against it too much, but that seemed great. I don't know. You're the Rock. You're good against most things, you know.
Sure.
So no, there's only a matchup I really don't want to play against. Maybe is the Colossus deck. I didn't get. I don't have Transgress on my sideboard. I want to just load up on ways to deal with the combo in Lost Legacy. So Colossus can definitely get you, but everything else seems pretty good. Just play your creatures early, attack them for a bunch, put counters on your thing, shoot them. Who knows?
Anything you would change about this moving forward? Anything that really stand out to you, like this was a glaring oversight, or I didn't expect this deck? You talked about the Colossus deck a little bit. There's some representation of it. I actually think it's a bad matchup for a decent amount of people here this weekend.
Yeah.
But anything that really stands out to you, something that for players who are looking to play this deck, something to move forward with?
I probably wouldn't play the Ob Nixilis on the sideboard, but I haven't seen enough of the format to know. We're still week 1 here, of course. Maybe more in Richmond, we'll find out. But no, it's in theory it was good against control, but it's not when they have the combo. So if you can get rid of the combo, it's really good. But before then, it's something you really don't want to tap out for because it doesn't kill them.
All right, before we close her down, any shout-outs you want? You can say your Twitter name, your Twitch, anything. You've got 15 seconds. Take advantage of it.
Brennan DeCandio 7, my first initial last name on Twitch, Twitter, same thing all there.
Okay.
I stream most every night. I'm not here for Star Trek Game Events, so yeah, that's it. That's about it. Thanks to everyone at NRG.
There you go.
I
gotta help them every time. They're wearing shirts with things on them.
It's I don't look down very often. It's all good.
Fair enough. For Brennan, I'm Cedric.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in for a deck tech. Hopefully you guys are into Delirium because we got a new version of it that can kill people pretty quickly here, and hopefully we'll see him on camera. Stay tuned for more here from the Columbus Open Weekend.